Good morning, Year 2. Today we're continuing with measuring length, but we are going to look at metres today. So for our anchor brain warm-up, let's see what we've got. As always, pause the video, answer the questions, and then come back and we'll go through how to work them out. So, number 1, is 13 odd or even? 13 is an odd number, okay? You look at whether it's in your 2 times table is the easiest way, and I know that 13 is not in my 2 times table. 14 divided by 2. Again, I would really hope, like yesterday, you were able to do this in your head using your 2 times table, but if not, you could have drawn out 2 groups and shared 14, and you would have got 7. There are 5 players on a football team. How many players on 4 football teams? So it's asking you to do 5 times 4, which I know most of you can do in your head because you're really good at your times tables now. And it would be 20. So on 4 how many? There would be 20 players on 4 football teams. Can get my words out then. And then question 4, how much money is there altogether? So you need to recognise your coins here. So I know that this is a 10p and I've got 3 of those. So I'm going to count in my 10s. So I've got 10, 20, 30. So these make 30p. And then I've got 2 1p's, so 31, 32. And I don't just write 32 because I could mean anything. I could mean 32 dinosaurs. You need to put p, so I know that there is 32p and the time on the clock is 4:30. Okay, so would you use a centimetre ruler like the one you've got to measure your classroom? I know I wouldn't. It's way too big. It would take me so long to measure the classroom with my little ruler. Can you think of a bigger unit of measurement for length that would be better? So think of what we can measure in. I would measure in metres. But when we write it next to a number, we put it as an M in a bracket. Now, as an extra challenge, how many centimetres are there in 1 metre? My class, you should know this. We did lots of work on this. There are 100 centimetres in 1 metre. Okay, that's going to be really important. So, what I need you to try and do, and if you can't do this, don't worry, it's not going to make too much difference. Using your centimetre ruler, can you try and make your own metre ruler out of cardboard, out of paper? Maybe you've got wrapping paper tubes you could use. Okay, and see if you can make a metre ruler, okay? If you can't, don't worry, it doesn't matter. So, true or false? This lamppost is less than 1 metre tall. So what it is saying is this is shorter than 1 metre, and it is not to scale because we know lampposts are not this big. It's saying 2 metres and 91 centimetres. Is 2 metres and 91 centimetres bigger or smaller than 1 metre? So it's false because it's asked me true or false. You don't have to explain, but if you want to, you can. And you could say false because 2 metres and 91 centimetres is bigger than 1 metre. Okay, and that's what I would say. Circle the measurement that is the best estimate, so it's not an accurate, it's just a guess. Estimate for the height of a tiger. Now, is 39 centimetres a sensible guess, which is an estimate, about the height of a tiger? Think about a tiger if you've seen one in the zoo or on the telly. 5 metres 14 centimetres or 1 metre 21. Now I think 39 centimetres is much too small. I think 5 metres 14 is much too big. So I think that a tiger, the best estimate is 1 metre 21 centimetres. Chloe has been sorting objects into her chart below, things that she would measure in metres and things that she would measure in centimetres. Has she sorted them correctly? Explain your answer. So that's the important part here. You need to explain your answer. So let's have a look at what she's done. So in metres, she's going to measure a shark, an ambulance and a tortoise. And in centimetres, a ball, a flower and a pear. I definitely think you'd need to measure a shark and an ambulance in metres. But a tortoise you could definitely measure in centimetres. And flower, balls and pears you can do in centimetres. But because she's put a tortoise in here, I don't think she's correct. So my answer would be Chloe is not correct. And to say why, we always use because. Because you should measure a Miss French can't spell. A tortoise in centimetres, not metres. Okay, and that is all. That would be a perfect answer. Okay, so bronze. You've got true or false like the lamppost. You need to choose the statement which makes the sentences correct, okay? And then you need to match the objects just like we did with the tiger. Silver, you've got questions 1 to 3. You haven't got many questions today, but they're quite big questions. So you need to, it says look around the classroom, but obviously you're not at school. So look around your house and choose 10 objects. You need to estimate which objects are longer than 1 metre and which are shorter. So a bit like Chloe was just doing. You need to draw each object in the correct part of the table. So you might have a chair, you might have your brother or your sister, you might have your pet, you might have a loaf of bread. It can be absolutely anything. Then it says for part C, use a metre ruler to measure your objects. Now if you haven't managed to make a metre ruler, don't worry, you don't have to do part C. Okay, and then obviously part D as well. But you could have a go, you can estimate, okay, how long you think they are. So you could write a measurement next to each one just by having an estimate. And then you've got question 2, which is Dexter and Ron, and you need to complete all of that. And then question 3, I need you to tell me how long the poster paper is. Gold, you've got questions 3 to 5. So you've got the poster paper question. Then you need to measure the longest side of your classroom. Now this might again be a different room in your house. It doesn't matter. If you haven't been able to make a metre ruler, don't worry, just estimate, that is fine. And then you've got some questions about the bear family, okay? So it's estimating again and knowing your halves, okay? It's really important. And platinum, you've got to use the digit cards to estimate how long a van and a motorbike might be, as well as a lorry and a bike. Okay, and then you've also got the sorting questions if they've done it correctly. So you can go back to my page where I showed you how to do that. And then they're measuring some snakes. So you need to, maybe you could go back to yesterday's video and look at Dora's lines where she was drawing them a bit wiggly. Okay, and try and explain how long the snakes are, okay? As always, any questions, just email me and Miss Smith and we will be happy to help you. And I will be back tomorrow.